Okay, let's get started with this new chapter. This is chapter 10. So if we scroll down, and you have in here the main functions of muscles. Movement, obviously, they allow us to move. Stability, they muscles maintain or help us maintain our posture. Control of body openings. I don't think I need to explain much about it. Heat reduction, when we are cold, we start shivering, and that obviously is function of the muscles, right, in order to increase the temperature. The muscles allow us to control the levels of glucose because we consume the glucose in higher amounts because we are going to use them. Here, so we have connective tissues and fascicles. So a group of muscle fibers are going to be surrounded by endomysium. When you put together all the muscle fibers, as you can see here, all these muscle fibers, you're going to wrap them around with perimysium in order to form a fascicle. Then you have fascicle, 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 fascicle. So a group of fascicles are going to be surrounded with the epimysium around here. And the epimysium is going to be surrounded by fascia. Fascia basically separates this muscle from another muscle from another muscle. We're going to see this in a little bit more detail later on. So what are the different type of connective tissue membranes that we have? Then, as you can see in here, is endomysium, perimysium, and epimysium. In addition to those three, you have fascias. Fascicles and muscle shapes. Obviously, it's singular, it's orbicularis. If it's like a biceps, it's fusiform. Muscle compartments, this is basically to say that you have muscles in the front, muscles on the side, muscles on the back, muscles in the middle. So they call them these muscle compartments. So attachment, all the muscles that are attached to the skeleton are called skeletal muscles. In order to perform a movement, these skeletal muscles must be attached to your bones in two different points. As you can see here, for example, the biceps is attached in this bone, humerus, and this bone right here, the radius, for example. So it has 2 points of attachment. So if you really think about it, if you flex your arm, you don't move your humerus, you move your radius, right? Your radius will move this way when you flex your arm. So out of the 2 points of attachment, this one in your humerus doesn't move, this one in your radius will move. So therefore, the attachment that moves is called insertion. The attachment that doesn't move is called origin. Okay, so let's keep scrolling down. Origins and insertions, we already talked about it. Functional groups, if we go scroll back up, when you flex your arm, the main muscle for flexing the arm is going to be the biceps. Therefore, this is the prime mover. However, the flexion happens only because you flex this or you contract this muscle. No, you also receive the help of these other muscles that you have in here, for example, brachialis. So then this one helps. So the prime mover is the muscle that drives the movement, in this case, the biceps. But this one helps. So this one is called a synergist. Basically means that it enhances or it helps this other muscle in order to perform the movement. And this is going to be a synergist, and it's going to be an agonist muscle because it helps this one to perform the movement. Now, this other muscle is called the triceps. The triceps is going to be an antagonist because it's going to do the opposite of what these muscles are going to do. If you pay attention to your body, you always have two main sets of muscles, one in the front and one in the back. If you look at your legs, you have muscles on the front, you have muscles on the back. When some groups contract, the other muscles relax. Okay, so then that's why they're called agonists and antagonists. So what is the biceps? The prime mover. What is the brachialis? Synergist or agonist because it helps this muscle in order to perform the flexion. What is the triceps, the one on the back? That's an antagonist because it's going to do the opposite to what this one is doing. So let's keep scrolling down then. Here, insertion and origin, we already talked about it. Functional groups, depending on the action, we said prime mover, synergist, antagonist, we already talked about that. I already explained that to you. Fixator is a set of muscles that are going to help you maintain the muscles in place when you are performing a movement. For example, if you contract this muscle and you have 2 points of attachment, then chances are that this can move, but also this would be able, this one, the origin, would be able to move. How come this doesn't move? Because then you have muscles around this area that are attached to your scapula that are going to fix this point, therefore this point will not move. So these muscles that you have in here, for example, are the rhombus major, rhombus minor. Those are going to fix this bone right here, therefore they're going to fix this origin right here, and this area will not move when you flex your arm, and this is going to be the only one that is going to move. So those are fixators, and that's why you have right here. So let's keep scrolling down. You have prime movers, agonists, antagonists, fixators, intrinsic muscles, extrinsic muscles. Intrinsic muscles are the ones that are working in the area where the movement is happening. Like, for example, the bicep, right, that's an intrinsic because you basically move that muscle. In the case of extrinsic, for example, if you want to move the muscles in your fingers, when you flex your fingers, you don't use muscles in your hands. When you move when you flex your fingers, you move muscles that you have in your forearm. So basically, they're far away from where you're producing the movement. Therefore, that's why they are called extrinsic muscles. A very important concept we need to understand is muscle innervation. Muscle innervation basically talks about that you need a nerve in order to move a muscle. For that reason, muscle innervation means what are the nerves that are going to attach to your muscle in order to make it move. And here you can see that you have spinal nerves and cranial nerves. So let's keep scrolling down. Blood supply, obviously, like any other cell in your body, what you need in order to survive, oxygen. How are you going to get the oxygen? In this case, how the muscles are going to get the oxygen through the blood, and that's why you have blood supply in there as well. How muscles are named, they come from Latin. Okay, the next item in chapter 10 is the muscles. Muscles in this case is going to be muscles of the head and neck. You have the muscles right there. So for example, this one right here is the orbicularis oculi, orbicularis oris, mentalis, depressor labii inferioris, masseter, frontalis. Scroll down, you can see here the masseter, temporalis, sternocleidomastoid. If you have questions in your exam, main questions that you're going to get about muscles is going to be which one of these muscles is located in your face. And you're going to find vastus lateralis, gracilis, biceps, triceps, soleus, or masseter. Then obviously masseter is going to be the answer. So you need to know the location of these muscles and maybe the function of the most important muscle. Like for example, what is the masseter for? That's to chew, right? So those are the ones that you need to know. But main ones, which one is the one that you use to open your mouth? Then it has to be orbicularis oris. And which one is the one you use to open your eyes? Orbicularis oculi. You need to know the location of the muscles. Okay, buccinator. You have again that in there. There's the face. You go right here. Obviously, you have external intercostals, internal intercostals. You have the diaphragm. These are basically in your thorax, and the diaphragm separates your thorax from your abdomen. You keep scrolling down. You go down here. You have muscles in your abdomen. Transverse abdominal, external oblique, internal oblique, rectus abdominis. That's what you need to know. My question in the exam is going to be, which one of the following is located in your abdomen? And then obviously you will have to pick your answer. That's about it for this.